We are beginning tonight with breaking news in Newfoundland and Labrador. About 9,000 people have been ordered to flee Labrador City as a raging wildfire draws dangerously close. These are the flames currently threatening the community. Local officials say that they are expecting additional resources from New Brunswick to help fight the fire. Labrador City is located near the Quebec border in western Labrador. Nearby residents are being told to be ready to leave at a moment's notice, and officials say that the situation is extremely volatile at the moment.
We are seeing extreme fire behavior out there. The fire is moving about 50 meters per minute, so it's covering a fair amount of ground quickly. So our team has been there actioning the fire all day long with water bombers. I got to the point where it's not safe to have the water bombers on it anymore. We're going to throw everything possible at this. We've got a management team meeting right now, coming up with management strategies. We've got additional resources coming in from New Brunswick. We might have to look at other resources as well. We are going to have, considerable aircraft in terms of helicopters and water bombers on this fire. And we're going to protect whatever critical infrastructure that's out there in terms of highways, railways, and nearby, campgrounds.
Weather will play a critical role this weekend. Our climate specialist, Darius Madavi, has been keeping track of the forecast in that region for us. Darius, what can you tell us?
Well, we are looking at some extreme fire behavior right now, but there may be some relief in the forecast. There's a slight chance of precipitation tonight, and things are looking cooler as we head into next week. But generally speaking, we're going to be watching those winds because that's really important for the fire behavior. And keep in mind, the conditions are very dry at the moment. So when we saw things like lightning passing over these areas, it's just so easy for these types of fires to spark. And so it's just unfortunate that it is so close. And so we've had to have that evacuation order for Labrador City. Things are progressing quickly, and so we're going to keep you updated. But for now, keep in mind that you can take a look at this map to see where that evacuation order is in place, and we'll take a look at the weather conditions that we're expecting as well. We're looking at some possible precipitation, as I mentioned tonight. You can see that on this map here. We do have the potential for some of that to continue into Sunday afternoon and evening as well. But again, one of the big stories is going to be those winds because they are critical for fire behavior. So if we don't get that precipitation tonight, which may help, but it might not be, it certainly won't be enough to put out the fire, but it may not be enough to even dampen the fire behavior all that much. The winds will be our next best bet. If they will stay calm, then that would be really good news. If they are blowing away from the city, which does seem like a real possibility now, then that would also be a great news. Now, the strength of those winds right now are quite high, but they do seem to be coming down over the next few hours. So that's something that we're going to be watching for. Beyond that, we're just going to be looking at those conditions in the forest. As we heard, conditions now, the fire behavior is too extreme for them to be using those water bombers. When those winds do calm, that should change, and they should be able to action the fire with more crews, more resources, and with more types of attack, which will be, I'm sure, welcome news to many who are in the community. Sarah?
Okay, Darius, thank you. For more on how residents are preparing as that fire draws closer, we reached Stacey Hunt in Labrador City, and he takes us through what he and his family are doing to get out safely.
Yeah, we're in the process of getting things all packed up. We have an elderly dog that gets quite stressed and pained in the car, so we're trying to hold out for a little while, but we're packing up.
Tell me about the evacuation order. I know it was, 4:30 local time, 4:30 p.m. local time. You were told you might need to leave. How long has it been since then that you got the order you got to go?
Oh, it wasn't that long after that we got the order, possibly an hour.
Wow.
That the first messages were sent out and the town council made their announcement.
Did you sense it was coming? I understand in your area there's quite a lot of smoke.
There is a lot of smoke. Most of the smoke is to the north and the west of us, and the original fire, as far as I've heard, was going to the north and west. But the wind has dropped a bit, so it seems to be spreading some now. It's all very high smoke. It's not in town very much right now, but it's pretty much blocking out the sky right now.
I know your wife's doing the camera. I can see you're obviously looking at something. Is there any way that she can just point the camera so we can see what it is that you're looking at?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. So you see
The
that?
sun is right behind that.
Yeah. When you see that, I mean, what went through your mind? Were you surprised an evacuation order came?
When I first saw the smoke, it was kind of a shock because we didn't hear anything about it on social media or radio or anything. I opened up the door to take the dog outside and immediately called Heather and said, "You've got to come and see this. There's something going on over here." So it was quite the shock to see that much smoke. And it's been in pretty much the same place for 4 hours now.
It's darker though.
From what I'm reading, it's traveling quite quickly, and they are concerned, especially over the next 24 to 48 hours. So what is your plan here? They ordered you to evacuate. Where are you going to go?
Well, the only place we really can go is towards Happy Valley-Goose Bay. Our concern right now is with, as I said, with our elderly dog, that the line of traffic is moving slower than the fire. So we are trying to wait as long as we can, but eventually we will be heading over to Goose Bay.
Yeah. Now, Happy Valley Goose Bay, though, it's also potentially threatened by wildfire, I understand.
True. Very true. So we don't have a lot of options.
You seem so calm. As you say, we don't have a lot of options.
Exactly. There's really no sense in panicking or anything. We have essentials. We have funds we went and got from the bank. We have food, dog food, cat food. We have clothing and water. We're pretty well prepped. If we can't go anywhere, or if we do, we'll be okay.
Okay. And so your car is loaded up already, or is that still to happen? Like, what's your timeline here?
Probably within about half an hour, we'll be ready. We'll be leaving. We've got everything packed up. We've just got to make space for the pets.
And sorry, the pets, how many? I know you talked about the dog.
Yeah, we have one young cat too.
Sketchy
The
cat.
cat is
Not a traveler.
not a traveler. No, he does not like the kennel at all. So that's another reason we're trying to hold.
Stacey, how concerned are you and your wife for that home that's behind you and for the community that you're evacuating from?
When we first moved up here a decade ago, we drove up from New Brunswick along the 389, and the last big fire had just gone through here. And as we were driving up, we saw smoke still coming up from the trees, although the fire was already finished. And it kind of put into our head that this could happen. Like, there's lots of forest around here. These things do happen here. So we are concerned, but not panicked.
Well, good that you're not panicked. I mean, a level head is certainly what you need in this circumstance. Stacey, wish you well, and pack up, get going, and definitely stay in touch because we'll be watching this story very closely. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Bye-bye.
Stacey Hunt is in Labrador City about to leave a resident who is about to evacuate. Okay, as you just heard, residents of Labrador City are headed to Happy Valley Goose Bay. That's about a 6-hour drive east, and it is the second time Happy Valley Goose Bay is welcoming wildfire evacuees. I want to bring in Mayor George Andrews. He joins us now from Happy Valley Goose Bay. Thank you so much, Mayor, for your time.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Good evening.
Good evening. So residents from Labrador City are going to be seeking refuge in your city. This is the second time you've welcomed wildfire evacuees. What do you want to tell them?
We are a community of about similar population, about 8,000 people. We're preparing to welcome them with open arms. We'll do the absolute best that we can. We have some excellent community partners. We have some excellent resources here that the Emergency Operations Center is just planning right now in the room behind me over my right shoulder. And they're putting all the plans in place that we'll meet, we'll register, and then we'll do the best we can to accommodate all the folks, including folks like Mr. Hunt, because we have an extremely valuable community partner at the SPCA, and they'll do everything they can as well to help and assist.
You also have a lot of experience doing this, given that you had residents from Churchill Falls very recently with you for about a 2-week stretch of time. Do you think you have enough room, based on that experience? Do you have enough room for everybody from Labrador City?
Well, I mean, it is a community of similar population. There are people, I'm sure, that will go to some of the cabins that they have. They'll choose other destinations. Unfortunately, we live in Labrador, and there's not a lot of opportunity and not a lot of things you can do. There's Labrador City and Wabush to the west. We have a small community of Churchill Falls, as you've mentioned, in the central part, and then it's our community. So, there are not a lot of choices. We have, I guess, over the last couple of months had to invoke our emergency operations plan 3 times now. This is the 3rd time. So, it's been a busy summer. We've been planning, we've been exercising those plans. And like I say, I'm sure we'll do the absolute best job that we can. We have an incredible resource here, an airport, a port. We're so pleased to be, we have our defense establishment here on 5 Wing Goose Bay, who's a crucial community partner. So, they assist and help where they can, and they're in the room with the rest of our community partners this evening. So we'll do our absolute best job that we can, and, because tomorrow it could be us.
Well, I want to ask you about that, Mr. Andrews, because I was reading that the last couple of days have been very busy in terms of new wildfire starts and wildfire activity in Labrador, and Happy Valley-Goose Bay is also threatened by, I think, we would call in BC a wildfire of note, some substantial wildfire activity. How concerned are you for your own community with these wildfires so close?
Well, we had some lightning go through the other evening and started a small fire. It's a ways away from our community. You can smell the smoke. The smoke is heavy around. You can see the hills are quite blue and hazy. You can smell wood smoke predominant in our community this evening. We actually had 2 local small fires that our fire department had to put out today in the community. So it, we live in the middle of the boreal forest. We're not used to this, but we've been through this before. The weather conditions are, very hot. It's 30 degrees here today, and it has been for, a period of time. We've had very little precipitation. The ground is dry. Your grass and your lawn crunches underneath your feet. So, every time I hear the siren go off in our town, whether it's, what I think is the police or the fire truck, I get stomach sick. And that's the way it is. And when I see it's the ambulance going down the road, I kind of sigh a little sigh of relief. But, we do what we can, and we just, I hope the weather, plays a part, and we do receive some of the rain. But in realistic terms, we've been dealing with this for several weeks now, this type of weather. So it's always in the back of your mind.
Yeah, no, I have no doubt. For several weeks now, I'm sure you've contemplated where everyone would go from your community, should that be necessary. I was looking at a map, and there'll be people in the country who don't understand the makeup of Labrador, but Labrador City is 6 hours away from you. There's no other way in the opposite direction that people could be going, or is it because of fire that they can't?
Yeah, so if you look at the road system, so you have Labrador City and Wabush. To the west of that, you'll eventually end up in Baie-Comeau in Quebec. A lot of that road is, about 200 kilometers of that road is still dirt. You still can make good timing, but it is again through a slower means, I guess, in terms of trying to evacuate. The way east, you have that small community in Churchill Falls, and then you have us, and then down towards the south, you have some of the coastal communities. So there's not a lot of choice. The decision to come east, I think, is the best decision, just simply because the road structure is better, and at the end of the day, you have a better transportation link to evacuate folks. So that's what's been put in place. So yeah, there's not a lot of choices.
Not a lot of choices. Well, we wish you all well, and we hope that this evacuation goes smoothly, and that you're able to do for the people of Labrador City what you did for the people of Churchill Falls. George Andrews, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, and good evening.